Alright, so today's June 6th, 2018. Just leaving the office here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I started my morning off in Miami at Block D, working with Baker Concrete. Currently interning here over the summer, and just thought that vlogging would help me get a little more comfortable with my surroundings and my environment, and just help me learn more, because I could go back always and watch these videos. So today I went to the job. As soon as I got to the job, I grabbed some timesheets. That's my new thing in the morning. Always got to get the timesheets. After that, I sat in the office for a little bit. Then went out, put some trash bags around the site. Johnson gave me about 50 trash bags. Johnson's Kevin Hart looking dude, pretty short, awesome guy. Anyways, beyond that, I had some change orders waiting that I've been a little too scared to send out, because I was scared that they were going to be wrong or incorrect, and that my pricing and my numbers and my labor quantities and all that was going to be incorrect. But I had them done about 3-4 days ago. They sent them out, and I sent them out over to one of my coworkers, Dan Livernoy, and he helped me out, and he gave me some feedback on what to touch up, and actually finished it up for me. 2 of those change orders, one of them was for an elevator platform. So they wanted to put a working platform in the elevator, which consisted of, which was for welding the existing beams for the elevator shaft. The beams were already set in place and bolted, but now they were going to need to weld in those locations, something where they needed the working platform. So I talked to Kenny Hubers a couple days ago, and he helped me do a little takeoff. He was saying that you would end up putting aluma beams on the floor, elevator floor beneath it, to cantilever over into the opening. And then you'd make a temporary working platform, so then you could nail your 2x4s all the way around the elevator core. And then after that, you would hang some 4x4s that would be laying on top of those 2x4s. At that point, you would then put some sheets of plywood on top of that. He was saying that this is probably a riskier item, and you probably need some engineering drawings or something of that sort, or you would even go with a different clamp system for the bolts. This system I wasn't familiar with, but Kenny seemed like it was a more sufficient way of doing it. Basically a bolt with a clamp on the end of it. One of my other change orders that I sent out today was also some drilling and epoxying. That also Dan Livernoy helped me out, so I sent that over to Dan, and hopefully he can get a look on that. Beyond that, we also had a subcontractor meeting earlier today, so I was taking some meeting minutes. It's always good to do that, just to keep track of what's going on the job. Let me see if I can get a better angle or something like that. So, at the meeting, or during our subcontractor meeting, we talked about placing concrete this Friday, June 8th, 2018. That was going to be for the final pour for the top deck at Miami World Center slab. We were also going to be placing some more curbs and some more crash walls. What else? We also got our rebar in today for the top of the roof of our elevators, and then we also need to allow some more time for waterproofing on floor 2. That was also another issue, because on floor 2 there's also a topping slab. So on floor 2 there's currently the ramp set in place, concrete ramp set in place, which we're going to have to drill and place embeds in for curbs, and also for another crash wall, and for entry gates. These entry gates are just, for example, like when you go to, let's say, trying to think of a good reference. I'm guessing like a parking structure, or a beach, or something that anywhere where you need to scan some item or you need to pay for parking, and then basically the gate just swings up. And so we need to put embeds into the slab for those locations. There was already some electrical conduit coming out of the slab. So talking about waterproofing, our waterproofing subcontractor did not want to be waterproofing up against that conduit, so they wanted us to place the concrete beforehand, the concrete curbs around that conduit, so that when they come in and place their waterproofing, they're not interfering with the conduit itself. I talked to my superintendent about that, and he said no, let's just go ahead. They should have been waterproofing already. That was not something that they talked to us previously about. They said that would have been not an issue. So with that, we're leaving that open to their discretion, and they need to come in and waterproof. What else? We're also getting a lot of CMU on site stored up. One of the CMU subcontractors asked me to ask my superintendent to move those CMU blocks. There's probably about, say, 30 pallets of CMU blocks, a decent amount. These blocks are being used to form the bungalows up around the top deck. That was one of my other change orders, was the beam size on these bungalows. They increased the beam size, which basically included adding 3 horizontal pieces of rebar, as well as some stirrups to hold those 3 pieces of rebar. The stirrups were placed 8 inches on center, and the overall span was 12 feet. So it ended up coming with, I want to say 16. Can't do the math in my head, but yeah, really bad right now. Anyways, so I did a takeoff for that rebar and also the added concrete. I think they added 8 inches of concrete in width in the beam, and then continued with the depth another 8 inches. Once again, those numbers are very off the top of my head. I need to look at the drawings and have the drawings in front of me, which I should know. Overall, it wasn't that costly. The only thing was that we already formed 2 of these bungalow beams, so we had to come back in and reform them to the new existing width and dimensions. That was going to take some time, so we had to include that, or we're going to have to include that into our change order price. And then we also have these blockouts for our railings. These blockouts are on the roof of the bungalows. So for the roof elevated slab, we have to put blockouts in there, so we can put these glass railings, but the glass railings sit on some steel, which we're going to have to put in place as well. The railings should come out pretty sweet, and overall the renderings of the job look pretty awesome. I'm trying to think of what else. And then I got another change order today that we're gonna have to price out. JR's been helping me out a lot, so has Dan. They've been kicking ass, and I've just kind of been tagging along, following behind. But we got another change order for these embeds on some tie columns. So like I said, the parking structure is already placed all the way up. Well, we're on floor 8 right now, but on the exterior portion of the parking structure, there's going to be some precast columns, which are going to be used for some exterior facade or some more architecture features. So for those architecture features, they're going to have to place embeds into these tie columns. These tie columns are going from floor to floor, and in some of the locations, we're going to have to form up to the existing slab above, which would be interesting to see. So I think we're going to have to price in some more contingency just for that scope of work. I've seen the existing tie columns that they've placed. Some of them look kind of risky, and also being at the southeast portion of the building, there's a lot of street traffic and a lot of cars that are always parked there, so we might even have to add that cost into our change order as well. At the end of the day, I came over, or I actually had Rashid come over to Block D, and he was supposed to go through with me the Baker Index, so I can learn how to update files and hyperlink files, which I thought I learned a couple days ago. But the thing is that now when I have it on my computer, the Baker Index is going to be the hyperlinks on the page are going to be all messed up. So the hyperlinks are something that's going to take some time, and hopefully Rashid can give me a more surefire way to continue with that. I am currently just stuck in traffic. I'm on the way home, but after that happened, I was walking around on the site just trying to count some more Porsche ores. There's so many of those things. There was 940 or something like that, roughly 940 Porsche ores that we're gonna have to send back to Perry. A lot of other material that I need to go through and count up so we can send back to Perry. I talked to some of the guys on site, a lot of stuff that they haven't seen any longer. Beyond that, I ended up coming over to the office to learn about change orders, and I thought it was going to be more of an in-depth process of how to go about pricing the change orders, such as the quantity, labor, material, and stuff like that. But as I went into the office, a lot of the main reason of the class was to learn how to use the programs such as Timberline and on-screen takeoff. So takeoff is like a reporting software for takeoffs, which basically you do markups and it keeps a scaled quantities. Keeps scales quantities of those dimensions. And then towards the end of my day, we ended up I ended up coming in the car right now, and I was thinking about some scientific stuff, and I thought, you know what? There's no such thing as a shitcoin. So all you guys out there that are hating on shitcoins, go make your own shitcoin. I mean, no one could stop you. It's like water in a well. That's all it is. No one could stop you from going and digging in the hole and getting some water out of the ground, unless they have rights and stuff like that. But by all means, go out there, make your own coin, do any of that, man. No one could stop you. No one could stop you. That's why I believe shitcoins are not shitcoins. Yeah, you could have shit software, shit coins that are created shit coins, but if you're copying a protocol or if you're doing something like that, I honestly don't believe that there can be shit coins. That's just my take on it. There probably are a lot of bad coins and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I think people need to be more open to the different coins and not so stuck on one coin or another. I mean, if you look at the market, when one goes down, or when Bitcoin goes down, they all go down. When one goes up, they all go up. So in that essence, stick to your guns, boys. It's like water. If the price of water goes up, all the prices of water goes up. The price of gas goes up, all the price of gas goes up. It's very, very necessary. It's a necessity. And I think with technology, that's going to be more relevant, and people need to stop being so scared and just realize, you know what, there's no such thing as shitcoins. Just puts more pressure on banks and other companies that want to pump their coins. If everyone just had their own coin, bada bing, bada boom, baby. There it is. You can't pump. There's no such thing as pumping Bitcoin. You're just buying more of it. There's no pumping it. If you buy more Bitcoin, you're buying all altcoins too. That's just my take, y'all. But keep your head in the game. Have fun. I need to find my exit. Beyond that, later, y'all. Deuces.